season, but his father commits him to play one more year. And the Tigers opening up their final homestand of the season. They bring in the White Sox for the start of a 3-game weekend series. Jordan Zimmerman against Dylan Cease. We'll have it right here on the Ticket at 7:10. On the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Ryan Woolley. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or radio.com.
And the 5 o'clock hour of the Crazy Italian Show. Bogey and Wojo in today for Valenti. Just he's out of town at a wedding.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, this must be a very important person to him because he's going to be missing a pretty important college football Saturday to attend this wedding as well.
Yeah.
Much like me. 1 o'clock wedding tomorrow. 2 noon kickoffs.
Much like me. 3 o'clock flight to Philadelphia. 3:30 to Philadelphia. So I get to the airport and watch the game, but they won't quite be over, right?
Yeah. See, if I were you, I would just go to the airport by noon.
No, the halftime is so long in college football, I could leave it at
Yeah, I guess that's true. But you're going to miss some of the game. You know that, right? Between the drive.
I can put it on the VCR and play it back when I get home, right? I can record it.
The funny thing is, based on some of the decor in your home, a VCR would actually fit.
What do you mean by some of the decor in my home?
Outside of your beautiful living room, you need to make some interior upgrades in your home.
You don't think those big tube TVs?
It looks very 1980s-ish.
I feel like I live in the Brady Bunch house.
Exactly. All right, look, the Antonio Brown stuff is out there for you. The New England Patriots make the decision to release him. Was it the NFL getting involved? Was it the Patriots just saying, oh my God, this guy really can't just keep it together? He's sending, text messages to the source of the original story that exposed all of the times that Antonio Brown, demeaned people, didn't pay people, sexual misconduct, sexual advances, things of that nature. He just can't get out of his own way. Do you buy that this is it for Antonio Brown in the NFL?
I do. A couple quick ticket texts, and then we'll go to the phones.
Yes.
248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. Wojo just hit it on the head, but I think they actually mean Hatchet hit it on the head about the perfect hit. Also coinciding with that hit was his signing of his first big contract with guaranteed money in February of 2017. So, it all did. So, I would say maybe it's not just the hit. It's, he got full of himself when he got the huge contract. And one more ticket text before we go to the phones. 3 strikes and you're out. As they say, that's 2 strikes already in AB this year after getting released by the Raiders and Pats. But I think he's got one last opportunity to play in the NFL. I think this is 3 strikes. He quit on the Steelers at the end of that season. Remember, didn't show up for a key game. Then basically quit on the Raiders, forced his way out of there, and sort of quit on the Patriots. The minute he sent that text or whatever it was, Twitter or Instagram, he had to know he was putting his job in jeopardy. So that's 3 strikes. He's out. You out. That's listen, you've been watching the Tigers all year long. You know what 3 strikes you're out means.
Have we? 248-539-9797. I like what you did there, though. Michigan State certainly out there for you as well if you want to hit on it. What do you expect coming out of this weekend? But also, again, who needs the win more? Is it Mark D'Antonio at Northwestern or is it Jim Harbaugh at Wisconsin? Let's talk to Scott in Troy, which are 2 first names. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, Scott.
Hey, gentlemen. I felt compelled to call when the one caller called in and was sort of talking about the perfect fit. And I could completely disagree with that. Completely disagree with it. First of all, he even commented, well, he didn't act that way at CMU. Of course he didn't. He wasn't making millions of dollars. I saw it change as a Steelers fan and Antonio Brown when they let Mike Wallace go, Emmanuel Sanders go, and he got his first bigger contract. Okay, so but as soon as he started getting that money, and that's when he discovered social media, and it was building all the way up to that point. It's just been a steady downfall ever since then. And at some point, he sort of developed a God complex. Everybody started talking about him being the best receiver in the league. And I mean, it's business. He's booming. Everything was about him, his big Nike contract, everything. We've seen it happen a ton of times with athletes. Everything went to his head, and now he's got what he's got.
But I remember thinking that about Titus Young with the Lions. He had problems in college, and then he got the contract, and he could act out, but he really literally had mental issues. And I'll read this ticket text. I don't know if it's from a doctor or not. Writes, when there's a sudden change in someone's personality, a concussion can be the cause, guys. Next to using drugs, it's the most common cause of a personality change. I believe that's probably true, next to using drugs.
That's the issue, and that's why I think that was the problem, versus the last caller. I get it, he was a diva, he acted like this when he got his contract, I get all that. But this was an extreme turn in his personality, in my opinion, from the hit.
At least he always balled out and played and competed, right? Even if he was a diva.
Yes.
He played. All right, I'm going to read this one just because I find it amusing. There's only a 51% chance of rain in Camp Randall on Saturday between 12 and 1, and then the forecast begins to clear. Wojo, just stop looking for excuses why Michigan is going to get their ass kicked. I heard monsoon.
Yeah, it could be nasty. I mean, Shea Patterson might not be able to see.
No. So,
Although he's so little, he really can't see over his line.
If we need to put an asterisk on the loss, we'll do so.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Which, by the way, you picked Wisconsin to win anyway.
I did.
Yeah.
And I picked it based on, if you look at the teams, match them up, line them up, position by position, and experience and everything, you would take Michigan. I think. Wisconsin has 4 new offensive linemen, although they're good. They have a new quarterback, Jack Cohn, who knows? He's thrown for a lot of yards against Central Michigan. They have good receivers. Their defense is completely rebuilt, too. But I can't get past the road environment. On the road, Michigan's offense hasn't hit its stride at all. So, yeah, I had to pick Wisconsin. I'm sorry. I'm out of the club.
Seriously, do you think that Jim Harbaugh is? I mean, they're probably in Madison right now. They probably did a walkthrough, the Friday walkthrough, before a noon kick tomorrow. Do you think he's got the newspaper out and he's in the locker room and the Wojo's pigskin picks column, right? And
After he's laughing uproariously at all the jokes,
and stunned to see that you predicted Wisconsin was going to win. Do you think they use that as a motivational tool?
I'll tell you what else. If I try to go to Knights tonight in Ann Arbor, I ain't getting in. They'll be standing.
Wow.
They'll be standing there at the front door with my pick, and the newspaper slapping it against their hands.
You better be careful.
They'll point me out.
Does the Knights have one of those newspaper stands right outside the front door? It strikes me as a place that would have one of those.
Yeah.
But today, it's only the Free Press in there. The Detroit News is thrown out.
It also has one of those little candy dispensers with Good and Plenty in it, and you put a quarter in and you turn the knob. You get a handful of Mike and Ike's.
Do they have a little horsey that you can ride, at the grocery store?
Oh, I love the horsey.
All right, 248-539-9797. Ticket text is at 971-360. Do you think Antonio Brown is done in the NFL? We also have to get to the story that came out earlier today. Sports Illustrated sat down with Calvin Johnson, and Calvin had a lot to say about the Detroit Lions and, his feelings toward the organization then and now. 97.1.
When the IRS tells you you owe them money, they mean business. They'll harass you until they get what they want. If you're part of the growing number of Americans, you got trouble paying your taxes or getting out of your IRS debt, you need to call Abraham and Rose, the tax lawyers. Jerry and Marie's local guys, been in business for years. Jerry used to work for the IRS. He knows it inside and out. They're going to work with you on a plan, keep you out of trouble, get the IRS off you. And even if you're self-employed, you got trouble paying your employee taxes, get with Abraham and Rose now. Create a plan and keep the IRS away. CPAs are lovely, can't help you here. You need tax lawyers, you need IRS experts, you need Abraham and Rose. Don't take on the IRS alone. Use the experts in tax law. Call them today, 248-539-5040. That's 248-539-5040. Or simply go online to abrahamandrose.com.
Time for another Action Network Flash. On Sunday, Baltimore travels to Kansas City. Randy Reed's team is a 5.5-point favorite after the line opened at -6. For all of the up-to-the-minute betting info, download the free Action Network app today.
George Clifford of Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical talks about a milestone he's reached this year.
Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical has been in business now for 50 years, and we've been very, very fortunate to have some of the best people anywhere working for us.
Now, for the very few who might not know, talk about what Family offers.
Well, we offer the services of a heating and cooling and electrical company. Heating and cooling, we repair and install furnaces, air conditioners. We go as far as installing water tanks and generators. In the electrical end, I've often thought about changing the name to Family Electrical Heating and Cooling, because we do a tremendous amount of electrical work of all nature, and the people are all very happy with our work because of our wonderful pricing and our wonderful quality.
Thanks, George. 50 years and going strong. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Learn more at familyheating.com. I'm Phil with Hamilton Chevrolet. We've been serving the Metro Detroit area since 1956, and we want to be your Chevy dealer. This month, release a new 2019 Trax LS as low as $149 a month for 24 months. Just $999 down and 10,000 miles per year. For details, visit HamiltonChevy.com. Remember, the best deals to be found are at 14 and Mound. Chevrolet, find new roads.
How to play soccer today. Have a kid. Buy the kid a soccer ball. Sign up for a town league. Write a check. Practice. Practice. Ignore other sports. Focus on soccer. Drop Town's Rec League. Sign up for travel team. Write a check. Travel. Give up weekend obligations. Travel. Sign up for camp. Write a check. Sign up for camp. Write a check. Sign up for elite camp. Write a big check. Kid turns 10. Sign up for elite team. If kid makes it, write a check. Sign up for a private trainer. Write another check. Write another check because you think it's good for your kid. Only to have that kid decide they want to quit playing that sport that you wrote all those checks for. Now they want to play another sport. It's a little late to start, so write a check to a private coach to catch up. Buy the kid new gear. Sign up for a new league. Write a check. Practice. Write a check. Ignore other sports. Focus on this one. Write a check.
65% of low-income kids have given up on sports. Ever wonder why? Don't retire, kid. Visit ProjectPlaySEMI.org and find out what the cost of youth sports is costing us. Proudly supported by Project Play, Southeast Michigan, and the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation.
Tonight, 7 till 9, 97.1 The Ticket Street Team will be at Johnny Black's Public House in Rochester. You could win tickets to see the Detroit Lions from the Miller Lite Tap Room. More info at 971theticket.com.
Got something to add? Text 971-THE-TICKET now at 97136. Ticket Text brought to you by LaFontaine Subaru. Home of the Family Deal. Find over 5,000 new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs daily at FamilyDeal.com.
The Michigan Wolverines play at Wisconsin. Kickoff tomorrow at noon on 97.1 The Ticket or radio.com.
The Patriots cut him today, and I suspect he's going to be out of the NFL for a while, and I would say forever, but he can't really be touched now because now there's a rape allegation from a couple of years ago, and then he threatened, quote unquote, via text or Instagram, the woman involved. So you're wondering what happened with Antonio Brown. Well, the Hatchet fella, being a Pittsburgh guy, he certainly remembers.
Well, no, he's a Detroit guy, but he just grabbed the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Lions were Pittsburgh. No,
I wish I did grow up.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, he's a fraud. Just say it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But I don't blame you for the record. Yeah, that's true. You're still a fraud.
Ever since Von Ten perfect clobbered Antonio Brown, really a vicious hit to the head and stuff, and we said, could that now? This can't be connected, can it? But a ticket texter brings something up. Guys, maybe it is a mental thing. That's why he was so set on that special helmet the league wouldn't let him use. Maybe he never said, well, he did sort of say it was for health purposes, right? And why can't I use...
I thought it was performance because I thought he claimed that there was some sort of something that obstructed his vision on the newer helmets or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, and obviously you got to be able to see, clearly. Catch the football.
Yeah, I'm not a helmet expert, but I would like to see what helmet he wore when the hit happened, and then when he returned.
Okay.
But I'm not a helmet expert, so I wouldn't know
me neither.
Who is a helmet expert?
Yeah. Zenith?
Yeah.
You do have to
I'll go
protect
to
the
their
helmets.
facility. I'll go to their facility this weekend to find out.
Check it out. Let us know what happens on Monday. It'd be great.
All right, one more on Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has always been a problem. My business partner played college football with him, and they voted him off the team for similar issues with his personality and behavior, with the exception of two people, Brian Kelly and his then quarterback, Dan Lefevre.
Yeah.
Right. They kept him around, obviously, the coach and the quarterback. I don't know if that's true or not, but you've heard stories about some things at Central Michigan as well.
All right, from one diva receiver to one high receiver. How about that transition? Calvin Johnson sitting down. You like that, Dave? I think David liked that. I think I'm actually getting a really good pity laugh right now. But Calvin Johnson sat down with Sports Illustrated, and he had a lot to say about the Detroit Lions, his time here in Detroit, and of course he still lives here. He has a place in Birmingham. He spends his time golfing, and he's got a couple of different businesses. Doing well, it appears.
A pillar of the community. Honestly, I'm not saying that. It's just this Lions thing that has people. And you think everybody, of course, would say, well, the Lions are idiots. But no, a lot of people are still mad at Calvin Johnson, which is why I think he sat down and did this interview with Michael Rosenberg to explain himself why he had to leave.
Yeah, and of course, we all know about the $1.6 million signing bonus that the Lions made Calvin Johnson pay back to the team. And that's really what created this issue. The tension and, the problem that they've been able to have here since he ultimately walked away from the game. But just a few snippets of what CJ had to say in this piece. Calvin Johnson, he sees clearly, speaks plainly. He won't step foot in anything Lions related unless he gets his money back, but he isn't bitter. And to me, he is bitter. If you refuse to, be around the organization or root for the organization unless they pay your signing bonus back, that is bitterness,
is it
right?
Bitter, or is it, okay, you can say the money doesn't matter, I'm sure he has lots of money, but it's the principle. Like the principle of the thing is they did it, and then they didn't think they were doing anything wrong by doing it, and then, okay, then don't need to be a part of it. I think I could see standing on principle and not wanting to back off. I could see that.
The most salacious, piece, I guess, of this story, or new information for this story, comes with this little snippet. He is sure he suffered at least 9 concussions in the NFL. Okay, one for every season. A super conservative estimate, Calvin Johnson says. Bam, hit the ground real hard, seeing stars, I can't see straight, etc. But it was in 2012 that he told reporters he suffered a concussion against the Vikings. The Lions said, and now have maintained, that he passed their concussion protocol, and Johnson later apologized. I misused the terms nerve damage and concussion, but he says now, quote, I knew I was concussed because I was blacked out. I wasn't seeing straight, and they wanted me to change my story, end quote.
I do remember,
and that's damning right there.
That period where he said something, and then I forget if it was a statement or he just came out the next day. He talked and corrected it. I do remember that, and I thought that was odd.
Now, since that time, and it was Calvin Johnson coming out and, accusing the Lions of basically going out, hey, don't say that you were concussed, say it was a nerve issue, blah, blah, blah. There's been a couple of other former Lions that have gone on Twitter today, quote tweeting the story from SI.com, including Lawrence Jackson and Travis Swanson. Swanson quote tweeted and said, 100% true. They didn't put me in front of a doctor for an entire week in 2016. Now, I'm assuming he's talking about concussion protocol of some sort. He didn't get into specifics. Lawrence Jackson also quote tweeting the story, and he said, I got concussed at the end of a game versus the Colts. We had one timeout left, and they were yelling for me to run off the field as I came to not burn their final timeout.
I could definitely see a football team doing that, yes.
Absolutely, but
I could see any football team doing that.
But Calvin Johnson has continued this. Is it a crusade? Is that a fair word, I guess, to call it this? Crusade against the Lions ever since they made him pay back the $1.6 million signing bonus. But you hear some of this stuff. Calvin, pointing at every turn, the Lions making mistakes and ineptitude and the front office and coaching staff never being on the same page. He said that did take a toll. The fact that they weren't very good, he didn't feel like they were really going in any direction, that led him to retire, a little bit earlier than expected. But with new information, about the relationship from before, are you starting to almost, I don't want to say feel bad because he's a millionaire, he's obviously set for life, but are you starting to kind of side with Calvin Johnson on this whole dispute as opposed to the Detroit Lions side of things? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because I do think people, even as bad as the Lions have been, people generally side for some reason with the hometown team against the hometown superstar. Now, if we thought it was nudging in that direction, I got to be honest with you, Bogey, we talked about it quite a bit today. They are not letting Calvin off the hook. And I'm not saying you have to, but I actually see Calvin's side of it because I've seen some of the nonsense the Lions have unfolded over the years. But here we go, one right after another. It's comical how Calvin has found his voice in retirement, yet never had the courage to speak out on anything as a player. Next one. Lions didn't do anything wrong. You quit, you don't get paid. Pretty simple. That's from Dan. Next one. I know what happened with him. Calvin's a piece of garbage. I wish you would just get over it. Next one. I'm more pissed at Calvin now than I was before, and I've been really pissed at him. He made a comment like the Lions got rid of Sue. That is not true. We all know it. And again, Sue laughed, and the Lions actually got duped. They wanted to re-sign him, and the Dolphins just ridiculously overpaid for him. And I'm trying. Listen, I don't agree with. Okay, here's one. Fans don't hate Calvin Johnson. We know the Lions screwed him, and who would want to play for an organization like that? That I would think there would be a lot of people that would think that way, but you know what? Maybe it's the tone, or because he didn't speak out when he played, but he ain't getting no sympathy here, and maybe he doesn't need any sympathy. Didn't sound like in the article he was begging for sympathy. I think he was just explaining.
I mean, look, in the grand scheme of things, just to make it as simple as humanly possible, I understand. You get a signing bonus in good faith. You're hoping that, you see the contract through so that the signing bonus isn't, for naught. You're not just giving him money just to give him money. At the same time, Calvin Johnson was the star. He was the guy that was on SportsCenter Top 10, grabbing touchdowns over 3 Cowboys defenders. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that fans, I think, would pay to see on Sundays for an otherwise miserable product throughout really his 9 years with the Lions. This isn't about just, hey, keep your money. It's about, hey, let's keep the relationship. Let's make sure that, you want to come back and be a part of, the Lions, doing a coin toss, and Calvin Johnson's a part of it. Him, doing interviews for the team, him doing, film breakdowns on DetroitLions.com. All of that is gone because the Lions were petty enough to ask
which
for
is
that
stupid.
little money.
But at this stage now, how can the two sides not just get together? Like, even for when he goes in the Hall of Fame, you don't want to diss it on the Lions if you're the Lions when he goes into the Hall of Fame. And he's still in the area. He's trying to become a marijuana entrepreneur. Yeah, whatever. Why couldn't they get together line the line? He could set up a little cannabis stand at Ford's Field when it becomes more and more legal, popular, right? No, I'm not even kidding about that.
Smoke a J with CJ. How about that, huh?
That's a great idea. No, but you get my point. Why? It doesn't behoove either one of them to be estranged. And you say, well, it was a long time ago. Nobody cares. Excuse me? Have you listened to the ticket text?
7 o'clock hours come early tonight.
This is CJ here. Come to the cannabis stand.
Is that Pat Caputo doing a Calvin Johnson impersonation?
Come to the cannabis stand.
248-539-9797. You hear some of the comments from Calvin Johnson. He dogs the Lions organization. He claims he's not bitter about, having to pay back the signing bonus. He certainly sounds like a bitter individual. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But, based on what he did, what he gave to the organization, how the Lions treated him as he walked away, are you kind of starting to, go to Calvin Johnson's side of this debacle as opposed to siding with the Lions? 248-539-9797. By the way, we do have some breaking news. More breaking news.
Stop it.
Michigan State head football coach Mark D'Antonio just released a statement responding to Curtis Blackwell's deposition. Right. So we will get to that coming up as well. 97.1.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
On 75 Victor Freeway heading southbound just after Spring Wells, there's an accident blocking the left side. Traffic is backed up on Clark Street. Also, the left lane and shoulder is blocked by an accident 94 eastbound at Woodward. On our US 23 southbound before Getty's, a crash is reported on the shoulder, and you'll find an accident also reported on the Davison westbound at Ewald Circle. Traffic signals not working right now. Telegraph at Ford Road and at Warren Avenue and Gulfview. Then keep in mind 75 both directions from 696 to Square Lake Road will be closed this weekend starting 11 tonight. I'm Michelle Penny on the WWJ 24-hour traffic center.
Jamie and Stoney. Mornings.
Coming on Monday in the 6 o'clock hour,
We'll talk Lions, Eagles on TV.
and in the 7 o'clock hour, Michigan State, did they come out ahead?
Jamie and Stoney. Mornings. 6 to 10.
If you're a smoker trying to quit, it may take you several attempts to quit before you're able to quit for good. But quitting smoking does take practice and many small steps, like not smoking cigarettes while driving or while drinking coffee. And with each attempt, you learn something new about what works for you, and you get closer to quitting once and for all. So check out the website everytrycounts.gov for helpful tips, tools, and info that's going to help you on your journey towards quitting once again. The website, lots of information on there for you. Check it out, see what you think. everytrycounts.gov.
Nobody